Welcome back to Yahoo Finance Live. It is time for Sazi's Take. And Sazi, tomorrow is Ulta Beauty's Investor Day. And I'm no makeup connoisseur, but apparently there are some high expectations for this one. Give us the breakdown of what to expect.
Well, I am a connoisseur there because you're doing this live stuff every day there, Brian Chung. So I love me some good makeup. But biannual Investor Day is tomorrow for the Ulta team and new CEO Dave Kimball. He took over from really the very well-regarded Mary Dillon on June 2nd here. So this is, in many respects, his coming out party on Wall Street. They know him. He's been at Ulta for a while, but still, it's a different ballgame when you're the CEO of a company and it's your job to put forth presentations and wow the street. And the street is expecting to be wow. Let's not pull any punches here. Ulta shares are up 8% over the past month. That has really outperformed Estee Lauder. We were just talking about Estee Lauder with Stifel's Mark Astrachan. That stock is down 1.9% over the past month. Coty shares, really a major player in the makeup industry. That stock's down 7%. So Ulta leading the way here. And I think the street wants to see, obviously, a positive pre-announcement from the company. That means a release before the presentation where they come out here and based on what I'm hearing, come out and say third quarter sales increased by more than 25%. So the street is expecting a lot from this company, that they continue to rebound from the depths of the pandemic where nobody was essentially buying makeup because they were wearing masks. Makeup sales have continued to improve, and the street is expecting a big sales number from this company to be pre-announced ahead of this presentation. Number two, I think the street wants to see a very bullish outlook about these new Ulta shops opening inside of Target. That has begun here. I do not have one by me, but I'm looking forward to go into one and check out these shops here. And that is going head to head, of course, with the new Sephora shops that are opening in Kohl's. Kohl's being very aggressive here. It's really the only thing they've been able to do right over the past year and a half is sign a deal with Sephora and start opening these shops. So expectations are high ahead of Ulta here. The stock has really outperformed. You're at the point, though, guys, here, if Ulta even comes out with very positive news, can the stock sustain these gains it's been seeing? Obviously, that is to be determined.
Okay, now, Brian, I just want to ask, though, I mean, where was the inflection point in all of this, right? Because I feel like the theme of everyone was in their sweatpants and now they're trying to kind of head out into the world again was a thesis that we were hearing about in the beginning part of this year, right? So has all that already been priced into these stocks, or is there still a lot of legwork to go in kind of getting a lot of these, the volume, if you will, out there in, the third quarter of this year?
Yeah, I would say the inflection point, Brian, at least for makeup sales, came over the summer. And that's when the weekly trends, Nielsen tracks this stuff. It's always good data to digest. Analysts watch it like a hawk. That started to improve as vaccinations started to improve. And people went back out to restaurants, went back out to malls and wanted to put more makeup on here. So that's when you saw at least the sales improve. I am surprised, though, not to see Coty shares and Estee Lauder shares powering back here. Does immediately have me thinking that maybe Stifel's Mark Astrachan is right. Maybe now is the time you do get into an Estee Lauder before they surprise the street to the upside. But for right now, the only stock in the space that seems to be working is, in fact, Ulta.
Hey, I wanted to ask you something else about Ulta. The company gets a real minority of its revenue from salons in its stores. But what's the expectation around that business, which obviously was also extremely challenged during the pandemic? I assume most of those salons were not open.
No, they weren't open. I think that has been a key, really, that's always been a key sales driver. It's very high margin type of business for Ulta. That is lagging the recovery in makeup sales. In full disclosure here, I think they're missing a big opportunity in men's. And during the pandemic, I walked in there to get a haircut, and they looked at me like I lived in a different planet here because they told me I was the second male to actually visit that store and get my haircut. It's apparently not a thing. It wouldn't let me book a male haircut online. I was very disappointed. And frankly, they botched up my hair job, and I had to go to a local barber to get it fixed. So I think a big missed opportunity for Ulta. Maybe they will start getting into the male haircutting market. They would have a potential customer in me. Again, really just a very terrible experience when I went, though.
What were you trying to get? A fade? I know a good place in the city if you're trying to get
I just wanted a quick fade, a little chop on the top. I still have some hair left, maybe a nice shampoo, and out the door in 20 minutes. I'm willing to pay. I'll pay the $50 to get my hair done. Just don't botch it. I ultimately invested $100 into my head because they screwed it up so bad. So hopefully they course correct that immediately.
All right, we'll try to get you an undercut on the next one, but we'll save that for another time. Thanks, Brian, for breaking that down.